If you're investing in property, you've probably heard about trusts. What is a trust? How do we avoid the common pitfalls when it comes to trust? Why should we be using a trust? These are all topics that we are going to discuss in this video. Hi, I am Jaco Grobbelaar, the founder and managing director of Prosperity Enterprises. And with me today, we've got Mkhululi Moyo. And Mkhululi is our in-house trust expert that does all of our structuring of trust deeds as well as the submissions at the master's offices. Welcome, Mkhululi.
Thank you, Jaco. Thank you for having me on this platform.
Great. So, Mkhululi, let's start with what is a trust exactly?
So a trust is basically a contract between the founder and the trustees, wherein the trustees agree to administer the trust for the benefit of the beneficiaries.
Oh, great. And there's, of course, a trust deed, which is very important, right?
Yes, so the trust deed is the underlying contract between the founder and the trustees on how the trust will be managed.
Wonderful. Now, why is it so important to have a trust?
There's many reasons, Jaco, why it's very important for one to have a trust. I think the one that comes to mind first is asset protection. There's also, you look at things like tax efficiency, you look at continuity, you look at estate planning. So those are the things that you really look at as advantages, biggest advantages of having a trust.
Great. And then it's of course important that you structure your portfolio correctly. You're not necessarily just going to set up a trust and buy property in it, right? So how does the right structure look like?
Yes, Jaco, I agree. It's very important to have the correct structure and to have a strategy when you're buying property. The correct structure would be buying property in a company which is under a trust. So the shares of that company will be under a trust.
And who would be the director then?
It can be yourself, who's also the trustee of also the trustee and founder of the trust. You can be the director of the property investment company, your property investment company.
And when it comes to setting up a trust, how would setting up a trust look like? What's the process?
It's a very long process, Jaco. As you always say that the property game is about doing something and then you wait. Doing something, then you wait. So setting up a trust, firstly, the first thing that you have to do is to have a strategy. What are you setting up the trust for? Are you setting it up for estate planning? Are you setting up for property investment? Or you're doing it for both? And then the second thing that is important when setting up a trust is the trustees. So those are basically the people that manage the trust. Very important that you know and you trust the people that are the trustees. And then after that, Jaco, then we have to draft the trust deed itself. When you draft the trust deed, it's very important to have people who are specialized in drafting the trust deed. I've seen trust deeds that are like 2 or 3 pages. I don't recommend that. Get the specialist to draft your trust deeds, and then after the trust deed is drafted, you take it to the Master of the High Court for registration. That's the trust registration. And then the Master registers it. It's very important for the Master to register the trust for legal recognition. You want your entity to be legally recognized. And then once the trust is registered, the first thing you do is to open a bank account. The bank account is important because that's where the founder has to do the initial donation to activate the trust. And then after the bank account is open, you have to register the trust for tax. That is legally required by SARS. And then after that, then you can move the properties or you can begin buying the properties in the trust or in the company.
Thank you, Mkhululi. And that is something that we can do at Prosperity Enterprises, is actually help you to register and administer your trusts. Also, we can assist you with setting up the correct structure with trusts in the companies, getting the shareholding in the holdings trust, and guide you through that entire process. Mkhululi, that is what we do, right?
That is what we do on the daily basis. That's our bread and butter. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Each day, yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Now, what are some of the pitfalls and things that you need to avoid when registering a trust, Mkhululi?
The biggest one, like I said, Jaco, is the trustees. You must have an independent trustee. So that is very, very important because now the law requires you to have an independent trustee, particularly if you are going to be the founder, trustee, and the beneficiary. So by law, you are required to have an independent trustee. Another thing that I see people missing, Jaco, is the issue of just structuring without a strategy. So if you can structure but you still don't have a strategy, then you will think that this was all done for nothing. So I think those are things that people should look out for when they are structuring.
Thank you for joining us today, Mkhululi.
Thank you, Jaco. And what I would like to recommend to everyone is to get the right people involved when you're structuring.
Absolutely.
Everyone should be the profession. Get the right professionals to structure your investment portfolio.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you want to sit with us, have a one-on-one consultation with us so that we can look at your structure, help you to put the correct structure in place, and help you with putting the correct strategy in place, look in the comment section, book a one-on-one consultation with us. You can click on the link there and we would love to assist. Also, if you like this content and would like to receive more of it, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.